What's going on, guys? So today I wanted to discuss something that a fellow veteran had commented on a prior video, my sleep apnea video. If you guys haven't watched it yet, um, it's up on my channel right now. But basically, they had an issue claiming sleep apnea secondary to their mental health condition, and I think that claiming it as a secondary condition to a mental health condition is the way to go. I think many veterans that have been through this process will probably agree with me. If you don't, let me know why in the comments below. But basically, most veterans don't even realize they have sleep apnea when they're in service, and then they don't find out until they're out. And sometimes the sleep apnea didn't arise until after service, but they have a mental health issue, or maybe they already have a mental health rating, right? Depression, PTSD, other mental health conditions. And so, in my opinion, this is the easiest way to get the approval or the rating that you deserve for sleep apnea, that 50%. Now, with claiming the connection between the two, now obviously you need a formal diagnosis of sleep apnea in the first place. So if you don't have a formal diagnosis of OSA or obstructive sleep apnea, then you want to make sure that you're seeing your medical provider for that, right? If it's through the VA, the sleep clinic. If it's if you're lucky enough to see an outside doctor, if you have the means, that's even better. Hopefully they can write you a nexus letter that shows that's pretty much their analysis and their opinion as to why it's connected to the event in service or time in service. And so you want to make sure you have your documenting the connection, right? With making sure you have the medical examination, so making sure that you actually have the diagnosis for sleep apnea, whether it's from the VA sleep clinic or if it's from your outside doctor, and then just filing it online through the VA.gov, right? The form 21526EZ, and making sure that you're checking the box for a secondary claim, right, to whatever the condition is, mental health, depression, anxiety, whatever, PTSD, and then making sure that all your supporting documentation is there. So what a lot of veterans have done to kind of back up their claim, because a lot of times the VA will try to get away with saying there's no real sufficient evidence as to the connection between sleep apnea and then your mental health conditions, whatever it's PTSD or whatever. And so to combat this, obviously having that nexus letter, having the already formal diagnosis, but also if you just Google studies on the connection between your mental health condition, so if you have PTSD, then looking up the actual medical health studies, peer-reviewed, doctors wrote it and evaluated it kind of studies between your sleep apnea and PTSD, or if you have depression, sleep apnea and depression, and what can cause that. And those studies will actually help, right? Because it's kind of technically medical evidence. It's really hard for them to deny it if it clearly shows actual peer-reviewed medical research that actually shows the connection between the two, right? The sleep apnea and the mental health condition. And also, if you haven't filled out the VA Disability Benefits Questionnaire, so the DBQ, make sure you're doing that as well. That's easily found online too. Just look up sleep VA DBQ, and you'll be able to find it, and just fill out all the questions. It's basically a questionnaire, and use that. That will be pretty much part of your backup documentation, and that will help support your claim as well, right? And so you see what I'm doing here? You gotta load this claim so it's pretty much indestructible. And then consult with the VSO if you need to. I don't think it's necessary, but some people have luck with using a VSO. I think it's a roll of the dice depending on the VSO that you are assigned to or get in contact with. I did not have a good time with my VSO. I saw her once and was not helpful at all, and so I didn't continue seeing mine, and my claim stuff is actually working out pretty well without it. So do what works for you, and then always make sure that you're continuing to get your checkups, right? So if you are if you've been diagnosed with sleep apnea, Make sure that if you're using a CPAP machine, for example, that you're continuing to see your sleep medicine clinic, for all those checkups and stuff like that they're going to do onward after you get your CPAP machine. I know with mine, we do checkups, every so often just to see how things are going, if the sleep apnea is being helped through the CPAP machine and all that stuff. Also, obviously, with their mental health conditions, making sure that you're seeing mental health continuously to make sure that you're building your records up and you're having continuous evidence of showing the cave, this is still here, them still dealing with this, right? It hasn't gotten better, so that even if you eventually get the rating, that you can keep the rating as well. So there's a bunch of reasons as to why sleep apnea can be caused from like mental health conditions like PTSD, depression, and I'm gonna go through a few. So like changes in sleep patterns, and so like if you have PTSD, depression, this can disrupt your sleep patterns, right? And I know this is in my case, right? With depression, I cannot fall asleep, stay asleep, or I can't continue sleeping and have restorative sleep. It's really difficult, right? And my doctors know this, and so that was one of the reasons as to why I went ahead and filed for, or I requested a sleep study in the first place. Recognition of those issues, irregular sleep patterns can contribute to like development of sleep apnea. Hyperarousal nightmares, so like if you have PTSD, it's often characterized by hyperarousal, which can lead to increased alertness and heightened state of vigilance, even during sleep. So like you can tell if you have PTSD and this sounds familiar to you, hypervigilance and increased muscle tension. So like in the state of hypervigilance that you might be having, even when you're trying to go to sleep, the state of increased alertness and readiness for like threats and stuff, where this is really common for guys with PTSD. This heightened arousal can lead to increased muscle tension, which include like muscles in your upper airway. And so this elevated muscle tone in the throat and airway can contribute to obstructive sleep apnea. Chronic stress associated with depression and PTSD can lead to physiological changes in the body, including inflammation, hormone imbalances, cortisol, you've heard of that. Like these changes may affect the respiratory system and contribute to the development of sleep apnea. Depression and PTSD can be associated with unhealthy lifestyle habits. So a big one as to how veterans get this approved, the secondary claim approved to their mental health conditions, that it's just like clearly you've gained weight, or from the time you were in service to now, and you can feel it, right? I've certainly gained weight since I was in service, and so this can cause some restriction issues on your respiratory system. And so like your substance abuse, poor diet, lack of exercise, this can all contribute to obesity and some other health factors that can be risk factors for sleep apnea. Medications, so like if you are on medications for your mental health conditions, like PTSD, depression, there's side effects that go along with some of that medication, right, that you're taking, and that can definitely cause sleep apnea. And so if any of those relate to you, look at the studies, those health studies, make sure they're valid health studies, peer reviewed if you can, and use those as backup documentation studies, right, for your secondary claim for sleep apnea. And making sure you have all this documentation, right? So like the nexus letter, the evaluations, the proof of actual diagnosis of the sleep apnea. Make sure that you're, obviously this only applies if you have those issues, or the mental health issues and the other issues that you can claim, the sleep apnea secondary, right, too. So anyways, without rambling too long, I hope this helps. Again, if I'm trying to build this channel for as a community of veterans to help one another. We're few and far between, and not a lot of people understand what we all go through. And if you don't think you deserve a rating, if you don't think you deserve disability, reach out to me. My email's down below. If you just want to comment and just chat with other veterans, everybody's so supportive, and I'm thankful for that. Just comment below and let's chat. And yeah, I just want to say I appreciate you guys. Anyways, see you soon. Peace.